Welcome back to Peril Pending, and today we're looking at why that 5 million matters. First off, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who tuned into the last episode. The reception of that one has been wild, and let's keep on with that heat. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you'll enjoy this one too. I think you might, as today we're looking again at Nigel Farage. It's going to be a bit of a clip show, a little unusual for what we normally do, but I think it's important to see the history of Nigel Farage, considering, as we'll see at the end of the show, he's clearly gunning for the office of Prime Minister. And after receiving £5 million to him directly, to his party, he's received a lot more from Christopher Harborne and many other foreign-based billionaires and millionaires. I think it's important to know why people are asking what you're going to spend it on, what was it used for, and should you really have it in the first place. So let's get into it. Firstly, we're going to look at a collection of clips that he did for Cameo. Now, bear in mind, he said these things for, I believe it's 80-something quid. So you can just imagine what he would do for 5 million.
Now, it's a bit early in the day, so all I've got actually is coffee. But I hope you enjoy a few pints with the lads tonight. Up the rah! Now, remember, if in doubt, kick him out. This message is to pay tribute to Ian Watkins, a good man, a really good guy who was very much in contact with me, who loved his children and will be sorely, sorely missed by them forever. And he'll always, hold that very special place in everybody's heart. And remember what he always said, mad lulz. Well, tell you what, that does just about sum up the world, doesn't it? Sorry for your grief, but please try and keep some happy memories. You never know, you might walk out saying road rage terror tour is the best thing that ever happens. If you're simpering for Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez's big natural...
So that was Nigel Farage there, leader of Reform UK and hopeful to be Prime Minister, for 80 quid, talking absolute nonsense, being a racist, being a sexist, and of course, praising a paedophile. That's Nigel Farage. 80 quid. But apparently, he won't do anything for 5 million. Well, here he was on Newsnight, and we'll see how he's clearly changed his perspective on this one as well.
Isn't that straightforward? I want people paying fair taxes in this country and paying them here. I find it hugely hypocritical that we have front benches in the House of Commons that talk about this, whilst they themselves, in many cases, are direct beneficiaries of trust funds that have been based all over the world.
Didn't you have one in Isle of Man? You had one in the Isle of Man for your family.
I set one up for my children, never used it and closed it. But I've never been a beneficiary of one, and I've never been a named beneficiary of one.
Yep. Once again, just like how we saw in yesterday's clip, it's bad when others do it, but when I do it, it's absolutely fine. And what I'm getting at here is, as you can tell from the age of Farage in this one, and the age of the host as well from Newsnight, this is from many, many years ago. This is a pattern with Farage. He says one thing, he attacks one thing, but behind the scenes, he's doing exactly that. And why would we think it's any different now when he feels like he's this close to the office of Prime Minister? How about this? This is a still from, I believe it was the morning after Brexit, when the polls came in and it turned out that we were leaving the EU. And that's Nigel Farage, gleefully smiling at the fact that the pound is plummeting. Now, there are unsubstantiated claims. I haven't been able to confirm any of them, but there are a lot of these around that stated Farage had shorted against the pound before the crash, which would have resulted in him making quite a bit of money. Again, he denies it. I haven't been able to find any proof. But would anybody really find it that surprising? And I don't know why anyone would be smiling at the fact our currency is crashing thanks to policy he spearheaded. How about this lovely clip from LBC back in the day with James O'Brien? And it talks about financial auditing. Funnily enough, that's something we'd like to see today. What did he think of it back then?
Finally, the question of your expenses and your financial arrangements, I heard you on Radio 4 saying that you'd submit to a full audit. You've reverse ferreted on that on the grounds that other MEPs don't. So these are the transparency arrangements that all Labour MEPs sign up for. Can you sign up for those today?
They don't actually. What they do is they have an auditor
more than you.
Make sure they spend the money in accordance with the rules.
Yes.
There are no expenses.
But you say that as if there's something wrong with it. They have an auditor to make sure they spend the money in accordance with the rules.
I'm sorry, we had an agreement about timing. You've massively...
This is Patrick O'Flynn, UKIP's Director of Communications and former political commentator on the Daily Express. Is this a friend in the media or a member of the political class?
There are no expenses. These are allowances, fixed rate allowances, which I've spent in accordance with the rules.
So will you go for the audit that all Labour MEPs go for?
We will make a decision en masse.
Well, yes or no, Nigel, you're in charge.
But I'm very suspicious of the word audit used in that context.
Are you?
Yes. Very.
Okay. Nigel Farage, many thanks for your time.
See, even back then, wouldn't submit to an audit that every other member of the Labour Party, at least, was submitted to. When it comes to finances, you cannot trust Farage. It's a very, very, very simple thing. And speaking of audits and finances to Reform UK, how about the latest news that that Labour are bringing in? Their the government has announced a £100,000 annual cap on the amount that British citizens living outside the UK can donate to political parties. I did a full video on this earlier in the week. You can find it in the description. But just to focus around this one point, you would think that this is very good. Why would we want foreign influence in British politics? We don't want that. That's quite universal. Unless, of course, you're Nigel Farage or a member of Reform UK, which this announcement prompted a furious row from Reform and its key donors, who have accused Labour of trying to stymie their party's progress ahead of the next general election, which must be held in 2029. Of course, because they're funded by foreign millionaires and foreign billionaires. Farage isn't only not to be trusted when it comes to finances. How about this clip, this pretty infamous clip, from way back in the day on his opinions on the NHS?
I think we're going to have to think about healthcare very, very differently. And I think we're going to have to move to an insurance-based system of healthcare. Frankly, I would feel more comfortable that my money would return value if I was able to do that through the marketplace of an insurance company than just us trustingly giving 100 billion a year to central government and expecting them to organise the healthcare service from cradle to grave for us.
Nigel Farage is a liar, especially when it comes to his finances. He always, clearly, in my opinion, has something to hide. And this is the man who wants to run to be Prime Minister. This is why people would like answers about what's going on with this £5 million. When it was with Brexit, it looks like you may have made some money off that. You may have not, but again, you weren't transparent about it. When it comes to the audits, throughout his entire career as a politician, he's never submitted to one from what it looks like. And when it comes to issues like the NHS, immigration, pretty much everything across the board, he sides with the Thatcherites. He sides with, how can I help the rich? How can I help myself? And for someone who as recently as 2 weeks ago said this,
I believe I'm the only person that's got sufficient public report and the courage to take on the establishment and do what needs to be done. Right now, I'm the right person. May well be in a couple of years' time or more, somebody else comes along who's better equipped. Right now, I do believe it's me.
So you could be the Prime Minister?
Yes.
We the people, we the public, deserve answers and deserve transparency. But those are just my thoughts. Please let me know yours in the comment section down below. And until next time, let's continue to hold Farage's feet to the fire, admittedly with a rather long pair of tongs.